Everything okay? You seem different lately. For a moment Lily almost broke. Sophie had been there through everything: her parents' divorce, her dad moving to California, her mom starting to date Richard. But Richard's words echoed in her head: things will get much worse. She couldn't risk it, couldn't risk him following through on his threats about what would happen if she spread lies about him. I'm fine, Lily said, forcing a smile that felt like it might crack her face. Just busy with school stuff. Sophie didn't look convinced, but the bell rang before she could press further. Lily gathered her things quickly, avoiding her friend's worried gaze. In the hallway she passed Richard's classroom and heard his voice carrying through the open door, warm and engaging as he discussed American history with his students. The contrast between this public persona and the man who had cornered her in the car that made her feel crazy, like she was imagining everything. But the bruises hidden under her sweater were real. The way her hands shook when she heard his footsteps was real. The growing silence inside her, where words used to live, was real. That afternoon, instead of heading to soccer practice, Lily walked home alone. The autumn air was crisp, leaves crunching under her feet as she took the long way, delaying the inevitable return to the house. She thought about Ethan's art show, about his small face lighting up whenever she paid attention to him. She used to be a good big sister, she thought, used to protect him from monsters under the bed and bullies at the park. Now she could barely protect herself. The kitchen clock read 7:43 p.m. As Ethan carefully poured milk over his second bowl of Cheerios. Mom was working the night shift at the hospital, leaving him and Lily with Richard again. The house felt different on these nights, tighter somehow, like the air itself was holding its breath. I can make you real dinner, Lily offered quietly from across the table. She barely touched her own cereal, pushing it around the bowl with mechanical movements. Richard's voice cut through from the living room. He's already eating. Stop trying to baby him. A pause, then Lily, get up here and help me grade these papers since you're so familiar with failing grades. Ethan watched his sister's knuckles whiten around her spoon. Go on, he whispered. I'm okay. Lily rose from the table, her chair scraping softly against the floor. Ethan noticed she was still wearing her sweater even though the heating was on full blast. As she headed upstairs he remembered something his teacher, Miss Collins, had said during their safety assembly last week: trust your feelings. If something seems wrong, it probably is. A lot of things seemed wrong lately. He finished his cereal, listening to the muffled voices from upstairs. Richard's tone grew sharper, though Ethan couldn't make out the words. Then came a sound he recognized: Lily's attempt to hold back tears, the kind of hitched breathing she did when to be quiet about it. Stupid girl. Richard's voice suddenly rang clear, followed by a thud. Ethan froze, his small body tensing. More thuds, then a cry of pain that could only be Lily. His heart began racing as he remembered more of Miss Collins's words: if you think someone is in danger, call 911. The operators are there to help day or night. His socked feet made no sound as he crept to the kitchen drawer where Mom kept the emergency numbers. The old cordless phone felt heavy in his trembling hands. He could hear Richard yelling now, words like worthless and embarrassment mixing with sounds that made Ethan's stomach hurt. Ducking into the pantry, Ethan pressed the numbers. 911. The phone rang once, twice. 911, what's your emergency? Ethan's voice came out smaller than he meant it to. I think my sister's getting hurt. Okay sweetheart, you're very very brave for calling. Can you tell me your name and address? Ethan Baker, we live at 247 Cedar Street. Another crash from upstairs made him jump. Please hurry, it's my stepdad Richard, he's hurting Lily. I'm sending officers right now. Ethan, can you stay on the phone with me? I hear police. The words burst from him as distant sirens grew closer. Red and blue lights began flashing through the windows. Ethan, a safe place to wait, don't try to intervene, okay? He huddled deeper into the pantry as heavy footsteps thundered down the stairs. Richard's voice boomed through the house. What the hell? The front door burst open with a crash that made Ethan cover his ears. Multiple voices filled the house, authoritative and urgent. Police, everyone free. What's going on? Richard's voice had changed, becoming the smooth, reasonable tone he used at school. There must be some mistake. Check upstairs. A female officer's voice cut through the chaos. More footsteps on the stairs, then a gasp. We need medical up here. Ethan crept out of the pantry, the phone still clutched to his chest. A tall officer spotted him approaching slowly with hands raised. Hey there buddy, I'm Officer Mike. Did you make the call? Ethan nodded, his eyes fixed on the stairs. Is Lily okay? Before the officer could answer, paramedics rushed through the front door with a stretcher. Richard was being handcuffed in the living room, his face with rage as he caught sight of Ethan. You little. An officer clamped a hand over Richard's mouth, steering him roughly toward the door. Don't look at him, Officer Mike said, positioning himself between Ethan and Richard. You did exactly the right thing, son. The paramedics descended the stairs with Lily on the stretcher. Ethan caught a glimpse of his sister's face, tear-streaked and bruised, but her eyes found his. Something passed between them, a look of relief mixed With fear and something else, pride maybe, Mom Lily whispered.